Simply Financial with Christopher Calandra, Certified Financial Planner, is an innovative, comprehensive, informative, and cutting-edge podcast that discusses financial topics ranging from personal finance, economics, politics, and personal growth. Simply Financial will cover intriguing and thought-provoking questions so that the listener can simply increase their financial IQ.
Welcome to the Simply Financial podcast. This is season number 3, episode number 47. I wanted to talk about a couple of ways that you can jumpstart your credit score in as little as 30 days. So I have 4 strategies. Number 1 is to become an authorized user. Number 2 is to request a credit limit increase. Number 3, pay down your cards. And number 4, check for credit report errors. Let's talk a little bit about each of those. Number 1, become an authorized user. You can piggyback on someone else's good credit by becoming an authorized user on a long-term account that they have. So a good example of this is a parent who has a credit card that they have held for a long time, and they have been good with credit generally and have paid this card issuer consistently on time for a long period of time. You could add your son or daughter as an authorized user. That means that they could use the card. That might make some people nervous. But the benefit in terms of credit score is that as an authorized user, the child in this example will begin to benefit because the card has a long-term history, which credit reporting agencies like, and also will benefit from this on-time payment history. And so this is a neat way to goose the child's credit score, in my dopey little example, very quickly. Now, of course, common sense. For this to work, all parties need to use this credit card account responsibly. The parent needs to continue to be responsible with their debt and credit score generally. They need to pay this credit card on time, just like they had been doing previously. But also the child needs to act responsibly and not ruin this good payment history and create late payments. And they certainly don't want to overcharge on the credit card. But number 1, become an authorized user is an excellent way to jumpstart your credit score. Number 2, you could request a credit limit increase. So if you have a card, you could request from the issuer that they increase your credit line. There's a good chance that they will do this. It's good customer service, and if you have a good payment history, they are likely to approve a credit limit increase. In many instances, they will not even check your credit. They'll just look at your history with them to get an increase approved. Let me point out that credit utilization rate is a very important part of your credit score. It probably accounts for as much as 30% of your credit score. So what is a credit utilization rate? Let's use the example that you have a credit card and it has a $1,000 credit limit. If you use 900 of that $1,000 limit, you have a utilization rate of 90%, meaning you're using 90% of the credit that's available to you. Higher utilization rates hurt your credit score. Lower utilization rates help your credit score. The credit agencies view that if you're maxing out your credit or you're close to maxing out your credit, that becomes a worrisome sign and it will influence your credit score in a negative way. So if, let's say, you have a credit card with $1,000 and you are using $500 of it, that's your balance, you have a utilization of 50%, and if you go to that card issuer and they agree to approve your limit increase to $2,000, well, then your utilization drops from 50%, right, 500 of the 1,000, to 500 debt on a $2,000 limit. Your utilization drops to 25%, and the credit agencies like that, and more than likely it would increase your credit score very quickly. So that's number 2, request a credit limit increase. Number 3, pay down your cards. This is another way that you could decrease your utilization rate. So going back to my previous example, if you had a $1,000 credit limit and a $500 balance that you have not paid off, which, by the way, you should pay off. It's bad if you want to create wealth to be carrying credit card debt and paying astronomical interest rates on that debt. It's not a successful way to build wealth. But going back to my example, $1,000 credit limit, you have $500 of debt, your utilization is 50%. If you take my advice and you hammer away at that debt and you want to pay it off completely, your utilization will go to 0%. That'll help your credit score. Or if you pay down half of it, the 500 debt goes to 250, and voila, your utilization goes to 25%. That is very attractive in thinking about getting your credit score higher. As a general rule, lower than 50% is way better than greater than 50% utilization rate, but you want to drive it as low as possible. So number 3, to help jumpstart your credit score, is pay down your cards. But again, I want to emphasize that's not only going to help your credit score, that's also going to help you be wealthier and wiser with money. That'll help you win with money. Don't carry credit card debt. It's bad, bad, bad. Number 4 is check your credit report errors. So you could pull your credit report for free once a year. There's a number of sites you can go to. The one that I use is annualcreditreport.com. And pull your credit report and look for errors. There are a lot of errors out there. And if you could fix the errors, that gives you a very good chance to increase your credit score, and it may not take long. It may not take long because, according to reports, most credit errors can be fixed, and that fix can be completed in around 30 days. So pull your credit report, make sure everything on there is accurate, and if you find errors, proactively contact those credit agencies to get those errors fixed. And if there is an error and you can get it fixed, that will help your credit score. So those are some quick ways you could jumpstart your credit score. Consider becoming an authorized user, request a credit limit increase, pay down your cards, which is always a good idea. And lastly, check your credit report for errors, and if there are errors, get them fixed. Thank you very much. Please subscribe to this podcast if you haven't already. I would love to increase my subscriber base. We've had a lot of success with that already, but I could use your help some more. You could go to elliottwealth.com and you could subscribe right at our website. Plus, while you're there, you could sign up for a complimentary consultation with us if you're not a client already, and you can find more information about how we help our clients win with money. Thanks so much for listening today. I will be back with you on the next episode of the Simply Financial podcast very soon.
The views expressed are not necessarily the opinion of SagePoint Financial Incorporated and should not be construed directly or indirectly as an offer to buy or sell any securities mentioned herein. Investing is subject to risks, including loss of principal invested. Past performance is not a guarantee of future results. No strategy can assure a profit nor protect against loss. Please note that individual situations can vary. Therefore, the information should be relied upon when coordinated with individual professional advice. Please note, the information being provided is strictly as a courtesy. When you link to any of the websites provided here, you are leaving this website. We make no representation as to the completeness or accuracy of the information provided at these websites, nor is the company liable for any direct or indirect technical or system issues or any consequences arising out of your access to your use of third-party technologies, websites, information, and programs made available through this website. When you access one of these websites, you are leaving our website and assume total responsibility and risk for your use of the websites you are linking to. Securities and advisory services are offered through SagePoint Financial Incorporated, member FINRA SIPC. Insurance services offered through Elliott Wealth Management, LLC, not affiliated with SagePoint Financial.
Simply Financial is part of the Exvadio Podcast Network. You can find Exvadio podcasts at exvadio.com/podcast the Apple Podcasts app, iTunes Store, iHeartRadio app, Spotify, Stitcher, and wherever you find podcasts. So join us and stay informed and entertained.